All right, guys, welcome to the recap for the final week of our regular season. Got all the way to game 66, and game 66 was our game of the week, in which was the Lakers and the Warriors. But I have with me Mr. Scott. How are you
Yo,
doing today,
yo,
Scott?
good, I'm good.
And I have Mr. Peoples, man of the people, Cortez Peoples. How you doing, my guy?
Doing well, doing well.
Man, I think I've said that every single podcast this season. That's been your introduction.
Yeah.
You got to have some type of consistency around it. But this is another consistent thing. We're going to get straight into it. First game, 12 o'clock game, was the Nets versus the Sixers. The Nets topped the Sixers 80-61. Nets outscoring them 39-22 in the first half. And then the Sixers scoring 39 points in the second half, but still fell short as the Nets score 41. Um, Dennis Koger, 30.6 rebounds, 4 assists. Yeah, Mook Lawrence with 9 points, 11 rebounds, and 17. I mean, I'm sorry, 9 points, 17 rebounds, and 11 assists. You also had Chills Wills with 13 points, 3 rebounds, had 2 steals. Then Martavius Laster with 11 points on 5 for 8 shooting. Just a great overall performance from them. Jameer Hines couldn't find his shot like he wanted to, but he was getting them in rhythm the way he wanted them. I know if he gets them again, he'll knock them down. Uh, Sixers, Miles Burgers does what Miles Burgers does. Had 27 points, shot 5 for 18 from the field. Still ended up with 27 points. Was 12 for 13 from the free throw line. Had 9 rebounds, 3 assists to go along with that. And only had one turnover, which is huge in a game like this where you lose by 19. Um, Outside of that, the only guy in double figures, Donald Ellis, was 5 for 10 from the field, 4 for 8 from three, 14 points. Um, Scott, how you feel about this matchup?
Uh, I kind of had I called the game on the live stream, so it was one of those games where it was like I kind of knew Miles was going to do what Miles does. That's my rookie of the year candidate. He's been leading and being that guy for the Sixers all season. But it was just too much, too much Nets, and it was good to see like Donald Ellis, be that second guy to scoring double figures for the Sixers. That's kind of what they've been needing from him, like throughout the season, and he kind of hasn't been consistent with it. But like going forward, that's what he would need to bring to kind of elevate that Sixers team. But yeah, it was just too much Nets, and you got like you said, you had a game where Jameer Hines didn't shoot the best, but you know he's not gonna have games like that every week. So it's kind of when it was one of those games. Like I said, it was a big lead. They held on to the lead. You know, too much Nets, not enough uh, from the Sixers.
I totally get that. How you feel, Mr. People?
Well, I didn't watch the game. However, just looking at the stats, it looked like the Nets just cruised to the win. They just look like they really just let Dennis go to work as much as he could and things of that nature. Really, I mean, really didn't see anything. Well, from the stats, anything different as far as Donald Ellis having probably his best game of the season. Miles Burgess put in 27. That's to be expected. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at the end score. So that's my take.
Yeah. The one thing that stands out to me in this game is 45 to 23 on the rebound. And then you got 22 assists to 5 assists. No way you win a game if the one team out rebounds and out assists.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can't win a game if one team gets the ball more than you and passes the ball more. Just it's hard to beat that type of team. Even if they weren't making shots, they'd have more opportunity because you're
Right.
rebounding the ball and making the next play. So the Nets just do what they usually they do what needs to be done. They stick it down on defense. They talk. They get their energy up no matter what. It's like the thing about that I like about this Nets team is it's kind of hard to amp yourself up to play a team that doesn't have as much firepower as you, you know? And
Mhm.
the energy that they came out in the game with from beginning to end showed that they wanted to dominate and they were a better team in this league. They didn't take this team lightly. They played them to all their weaknesses. And like
Right.
they still maintain that they're going to be, they're focused headed into the playoffs and I think that showed. That's what I got from it when I watched it. I got that they were coming, they were ready. They feel like they still got something to prove. They still play with that chip on their shoulder. Uh
Oh, for
and
sure.
and and I think it's important. Um yeah, but that's my take from that game. Next game we have the Grizzlies and the Magic. Um, Grizzlies take this one 65-38. Um, Grizzlies take the first half by storm, 36-17, and then we take Grizzlies take the second half, 29-21. Um, in this game, our leading scorer was Jeremiah Mitchell, 7 for 10 from the field, 1 for 2 from three. Um, they had 21 points, 5 rebounds, have 2 assists. And Jamario Brown really key in this game. He had 12 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. His energy was all over the place. He knocked down 2 threes at big points in the game. Then Daryl Harris with 9 points, 10 rebounds off the bench. Chad White struggled this game to find his shot, but he still found a way to be effective. Had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Every player from the Grizzlies played, which is something that I like to see. Um, but then there was only 6 guys for the Magic, so they were pretty shorthanded. Marcus Pope pretty much was doing pretty much all he could. He struggled a bit, but I still think that his energy and his effort was definitely amazing in that game. 16 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. He was 6 for 17 from the field, but knocked down majority of his free throws, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Um, Coach, Mr. Peoples, how do you feel about the Grizzlies Magic matchup as they do see each other in the playoffs again, first round?
Um, Again, I didn't watch this game either, but I mean, I, I mean, the score tells it all. Let me see. Let me look at some more stats real quick. I mean, it's good to see 21 from Jeremiah. It's like he's getting into a rhythm now that will help him and prepare him in the playoffs. So hopefully that will continue as the playoffs start. Um, Hopefully, we can see the Chris White we know in the playoffs and things of that nature. Magic, I mean, they're a team that's gonna come and they're gonna give it their best, and play hard. So I mean, that's one thing you can always look forward to when the Magic step on the floor, especially with Edgar and Lee and Marcus and David, all of them. So I mean, yeah, that's that's all I got to say about that game too.
Let me know what you know, Scott.
Yeah, I called this one too on the broadcast. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing Cortez said. You see that this Magic team is kind of depleted, and they've kind of ran through a lot of struggles since Billy's leaving, and we've all been kind of waiting to see who would be that guy to kind of step up, and we kind of assumed it was some other guys that would have took that role, but we can all probably agree that Marcus and Edgar kind of took that and ran with it. And I'm a big fan of Pope, because we talked outside before the season started. He said, "Hey man, I'm trying to come in and be effective early. I haven't hooped in a while. I want that rookie of the year." And he's in the conversation as far as like a guy with that would be one of the better guys that's to say first year playing. But man, Grizzlies all over. You usually have Mitchell being a guy that was coming off the bench, giving you good points and being more of a glue guy. And I love the fact that he's like asserted himself to, score more, do a little bit more. But key thing, Brown, that's the type of performances that I personally hold him to that standard too. But well, you know who my guy is when it all boils down to is the make or break player for y'all, and that's Wally.
Yeah, Mr. Wally
Even,
Watson.
even if Wally doesn't even come out with the mindset of wanting to score, 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 the way he finds people and the way he keeps that ball on the string is going to always be a great thing for y'all team. But yeah, it was great seeing Chris there. That because he hasn't been in a while or whatever. It's great seeing him. I want him to get back to being the Chris of old. You know, everybody knows. We all got lives outside of leagues and stuff. So it was good seeing him, and it was good to see that he had a positive attitude. I think I might have said it on the broadcast, like y'all energy on the bench was amazing for that game. It's a motivating thing. It's pushing everybody like to want to play better and play harder. And I think this win was good for y'all to have going into the playoffs. And it was good to have, like I said, everybody at least play, score, something of some nature, because it's like now everybody's riding on a higher momentum right now.
Yeah, I one big thing I do want to speak on is Chris White. I think that um when he's in a certain mindset for us, when he's bought in completely, when he's, able to, understand that, his teammates and we all, support anything and everything that it is, that he's saying. We look at him as one of those guys, trust him in his
Mm-hmm.
game. I think once he fully gets comfortable, because this team hasn't, he's played with a lot of people, and we've all played with a lot of people. We haven't all played with each other, and
Right.
we're just developing a chemistry together. And the Grizzlies are back-to-back seasons where we go 5-6, but last season we got the 9 seed. This we got the 7, and I think this season the league was a tougher league. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot to learn from, and I see the growth in this team, in this culture of the Grizzlies that's being created. And I think that going toward the future, I think that we can only grow from stuff like this. Seeing all players play in a game where everybody's cheering for the next person, everybody's getting
Mm-hmm.
shots up, nobody's complaining. I had 3 turnovers in the game, and no one said a word to me.
Of course.
So it's like, but I
It's
was 2 for 2 from the field. So like, it was one of
it's a
those.
mindset.
It's a blessing. Like if I could get in the game and take 2 shots, make 2 shots, and we win the game by 30, like it's a chemistry thing, just being able to do it together. That's the biggest thing for the Grizzlies. But we'll move on to the next game, and that's um, the Thunder and the Bucks. Um, yeah, guys, 87-49 was the final score. Bucks win. Bucks dominated both halves. First half, Bucks scored 38 to Thunder 22, and then they up it up in the second half, scoring 49 to the Thunder 27. Antoine Peterson had a solid game. 7 for 11 from the field, 2 for 3 from three, had 16 points, 4 rebounds. I like to see him rebound the ball a little more. Then you had CJ Link, 5 for 11 from the field, 4 for 9 from three, had 14 points. Bergeron and Cam Link both with 8. Um, and then just the Bucks, it was a ridiculous game. Brian Hernandez with 14 assists. Barrick Olden, 25 points, 8 rebounds. You had Chris Anderson with 15 points and 6 rebounds. Farrah Johnson with 16 points, 4 rebounds. Patrick Allen with 12 points, 5 rebounds. Quan Shaw, 14.6 rebounds. Like it was an all around effort for everybody. Brian Hernandez, the only guy that didn't score double figures, but he had 14 assists. He was looking for everybody, finding everybody where they needed to be. And they didn't have 2 of their shooters, which is and Caleb. So yeah, Bucks Bucks did what they were supposed to do. They were 6 for 23, but they were making their shots inside. They were finding a good guy. They were moving the ball around, playing the way they were supposed to. Rod Johnson stepped it up big time in that game. The more minutes he seems to play, the more he warms up to the game. So I think that helps them, especially in a playoff time. If somebody does get in foul trouble, or if he is hot, this team can trust him to play. But Thunder I don't see them having an answer for anyone. I haven't seen it all season.
What?
What'd you say?
I was gonna say, did you want me to go first? Did you want?
You go ahead. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay. I'll talk about the Bucks first. That was a well needed game for the Bucks. Because like man, Farah was that guy that everybody had stuff to say about, and he was not that guy where he would really get a lot of minutes, or he was a hustle guy. But to see, but for him to get that many points in the game, and and be more confident and shoot the ball, that's going to be really effective for them. Brian having 14 assists, that's crazy. Because we usually used to him, lighting it up, scoring. Barrick, he does what he does. Pat Allen, that's the real dark horse that they got over there. He still trying to figure out where he fits in with that team. And I think, he's kind of finding his niche. You got to get out and run. Got to make the athletic plays, situations like that. Now, Thunder wise, I feel like the Thunder, it's like they got good guys on that roster, but it's like they just having a hard time really putting it together.
We say, I believe, I'm feeling like we've said that after every game.
It's got guys that started to show like and he's trying to, steer them in the right direction, but it's like, dude, somebody else has to give him. He can't himself, and it's hard watching it, week in, week out. Because they've had some games where they possibly could have won if everybody been there and everybody showed up. But I really feel like it's a structure thing. I think it's a game planning thing. I think it's a, not coming in with a game plan hurts them because you guys can't freelance this. Like, y'all don't have the team to freelance. Like this, y'all should be a team that strategizes better, have a real offense, have a real defense, because like you said, other teams, when they play them, they know what to do. They know how to go about guarding them. They know how to, force people to take bad shots. They know how to play the Thunder. It's easy, as far as game planning for them.
Yeah, I understand that. I definitely understand that. Mr. Peoples, you agree? Disagree? How you feel?
I agree. Then on top of that, playing hard. They don't play hard. Like
No effort, bro.
They just out there like a fifth grade B team. Like I just don't understand. Like
not a fifth grade team. You gonna have them
like
upset somebody in the playoffs.
Right.
Hey,
right.
let's get
Hey man, you know what I said, bro? We could get on these podcasts and talk crazy about folks, and it be a motivating factor, because it's happened. We've all been at these games, and people, oh well, I heard what you said on the podcast.
Man,
well, my thing
you ain't
is,
got to tell me
if that's what
once.
it's gonna take. Look, if that's what it's gonna take, bro. Hey, look, message to the Thunder: y'all trash. Y'all not gonna do nothing in these playoffs. Y'all probably gonna get beat by 50. If that's what it takes for me to say for y'all to put forth an effort to try to knock somebody off, then do that. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
come in with a chip on you. Come in with a chip on your shoulder.
Preach.
That's it. That's all I can say. Because if everybody else is taking it personal, when are y'all gonna start taking it personal? And when y'all gonna come and y'all gonna shut us up, prove us wrong? Because right now you done proved everybody right. When they say, "Oh, y'all gonna be that team that's not gonna win a game, that's not gonna make no noise," and it's sad because y'all got talent.
Now look. I respect everybody on the Thunder. Like I love those guys. Like
me too.
Personally,
I love all of them.
and I respect them all. But I'm gonna just be honest. They like the names on Antoine Peterson, Brazion Thomas, Cam Link, CJ Link. You have
that's what I'm saying.
You have even Tanky who can make shots. You got, you know what I'm saying, Keisha Dubs. Like they have pieces to where if they played hard, they should be able to lock every team, not even just be able to compete defensively at least. But I believe, but let's just be honest, they were the worst defensive team in the league this year, and I'm gonna call them out because I care about them. I talked to Cam and CJ and Ahmad over the summer. And they would I was telling them certain moves that I do personally that always work for me, no matter what, because I'm just faster than the next person in front of me. If you're just faster, you can beat them, you know? So I'm like, this usually works for me because I'm just faster. And they like, well, we play real defense. And I said, okay, I'm gonna just be real with you. Like, not saying that you can't play real defense, but I have yet to see it. Not saying that you're not capable of doing it, but I have yet to see it. And then they say, well, we're gonna show you the season. The season with the Kings was a fluke. The season with the Heat was a fluke. And then I was waiting for it, and I couldn't get a win. So I wanna see these guys be successful. I want to see what this team can be when they actually come forth together and give an effort as a unit and actually trust one another. You know, it's
right.
That's just what I want. That's really what I want. Like, I know they can do it. I know that it's possible. Just haven't seen it.
For sure. Because
Just
think
haven't
about
seen
the
it.
game when they had to start down by 30. If
Yeah,
you go back and
and
look at the
Miles
stats,
said
dude, if Miles sat, but my thing is they still played
they
great
played hard.
with,
They outscored them
and
39 to
they
24,
out
I think.
exactly. They outscored them. So my thing is you can't tell me that it's not possible. It's
Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
And y'all was shorthanded. So it's like, to me, now it's a thing of, okay, when are y'all gonna sit down and be like, look, bro, we're the laughing stock. When are we really gonna make a change or do something different and really like showcase what we can do? But that's why I said when there's no, bro, it's a team game. You just can't have a bunch of individuals on one team. And it's just like, hey, I passed to you, ISO ball. I passed to you, ISO ball. They're literally, I feel like if there was somebody in place as a coach, coaching them, putting them in a position to have a real game plan, dude, that team can
that team
beat
is nice.
a lot. They was gonna win some games, and I can guarantee you that.
No, I believe we ain't gonna give them too much time though. We didn't give y'all a lot of time on the podcast.
Hey, that's
We
because it's a
want to
lot
see
of time they need that.
y'all play the Bucks
We
again. Y'all play the
That's what I'm
Bucks
saying.
again. Give them what y'all got. Don't roll over. Show them something different.
Get your
Don't
lick
let
back.
5 guys get double figures. I just want to see a defensive effort, if anything. I don't like, we got beat by 40. I've never gotten beat by 40 until the Warriors beat us by 40. And I never let it. I told myself I never let it happen. No, I don't care what. I never let it happen. I didn't play on some bad teams and I never lost by 40. This is the best team one of the better teams I've played for and lost by 40. Like, no. You
It's an
gotta have
eye
some
opener,
type
ain't
of
it?
something.
It's an eye
Sorry,
opener, ain't
y'all.
it?
Hey, to all the Thunder players, just hear us out. Give us that effort, man. Give us
It
that
ain't
effort.
no shade. It's just because we want to see y'all do better because we know what y'all potential is. We know y'all better than that. So
But next game, we got the Heat Spurs, which was a really good game,
really
actually.
good game.
A really good game. The Heat outscored the Spurs 39 to 23 in the first half, but the Spurs come back and dominate the second half, 42 to 24, and win the game by 2 points. Octavius Davis was the story of this game with 27 points, 13 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds at that. And he had 2 assists. He was attacking the basket all game, only shot 3 free throws, but had 27 points on 17 shots. Great game from Octavius Davis, who was our player of the week. And then you had Ben Green, who started the game on fire. He could not miss he made his first 4 threes, I want to say. Had 19 points, 1 assist, had 2 rebounds. And you had some in-betweeners. Gerald Duckworth came in and gave some did a really good job on the defensive end, I'd say, just with his energy. Couldn't hold the ball, though. He had 4 turnovers, had 4 fouls. So he was kind of limited in what he could do. But the Heat, they had 4 guys in double figures. Trey Anthony, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. You had 18 points from Jallman, who was 8 for 11 from the free throw line. Did a good job getting to the line. Miko Sullivan couldn't find his shot. He was 3 for 11 from 3, 5 for 16 total. Had 14 points, though. And Darian Bosby was the one that was really making shots when they needed him to make shots. He had 15 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. Sean Ort, 5 points, 8 rebounds. Mr. Peoples from the bench. What did you see?
Nothing. No. So is this an uncut version of?
Hey man, look, you on the hot seat, gang.
I Oh man. I love the hot seat. However, the Heat sometimes can be very, very, very immature, and that go. They have to become more mature when it comes to the basketball game. Like it, it becomes almost unbearable sometimes, even when you're doing well, unbearable to watch because one sudden bad move or bad, and it makes the team into turmoil. And like it's just sad to see. Knowing I've been coaching for 12 years and things of that nature, like it's just y'all see what I did. I ain't say nothing on the bench.
Oh yeah, we chopped it up a little bit.
I sat there and ate my chips. So I say something when it's not gonna be considered on the floor. Some considered it, some of the players, but you know, at the same time, y'all grown. If y'all feel like y'all know what y'all supposed to do, hey, by all means, I ain't stopping you. Go ahead, big dog. But then you lose by 2 points when you was up. Spurs came back and won.
Mm.
Octavius had 27, and he hit what 1 3, 2 3, 1 3. So that means all his points coming in from in the inside. Listen, man, like you gotta be more mature, man. Of the game of basketball. It's not a one man's game. It's not a two man's game. You got to bring it all together. Until that formula happens, they always going to be in games, but they're never going to be able to finish games against good teams. Period. I don't even got nothing to say about the Spurs. Spurs did what they had to do. They fall back. I mean, they gave it to their hot hair, which is Ock, and Ock brought it home for them and being knocked down shots. Even Jeremy, at times, those 2 threes he hit was in big moments in the second half.
Big ones,
So it's like
big
it
ones.
was like
Yeah,
they brought it all together. Even though Trey had a goose egg, he still
five.
had
He
eight
had
rebounds.
3 blocks. Yeah,
So it's like they all know what their role is on the team, and they just did what they had to do to win as a team. Until Miami understands that and figure it out. They will always be in games. Remember what I'm saying? They always be in games, but they would never be able to
Finish.
finish games. So, I mean, that's what I got.
even Matt Cunningham hit 2 threes and had 4 steals and 5 rebounds and 6 points.
That's that's tough,
Like
bro.
that is great. You know what I'm
That's
saying? He
tough.
doesn't even want to play, and he going out there
Exactly.
giving you an effort. Like, yeah, the
Exactly.
Spurs. The Spurs. I think what's gonna keep them in this is being able to play hard, like they do. Them playing hard.
Mhm.
Yeah. What you got, Mr. Scott?
Hey man, hey Cortez, you know I know them wolves, brother. I was just on that bench the season prior, and you know what I'm saying, it was the same story. And I've sat down and talked to players on the team, but it's like, bro, but like you said, maturity, that's everything. You you can't have guys, arguing about fouls and stuff of that nature, and that stuff matters. Stuff that attitudes on the court can swing the momentum to the other team in a heartbeat, bro. And you know I like I said, I came around, I was sitting on the other side, listening, watching. Then I had to come around and I talked to you. You like, hey man, look, you said, he's like, watch. You just watch. I'm not gonna say a word. And that's sad, bro, because for somebody who I've been given high praise to, because when you step in and they actually buy into what you're telling them defensively, y'all was making teams who would normally run it up. You slow them down. Y'all was doing a lot when you was putting this stuff in into play. They started that game off high. I was like, oh man, I said it's gonna be a long game for the Spurs. I'm like, Miko hit his first three threes. I said, oh yeah, this is finna be one. They start, they getting the chop, chattering and talking, and it's like, okay, but what are y'all gonna do now? Because Ak is getting to the rim at will.
Yep.
I'm like he's not shooting threes and and like you said, G Davis, them threes were clutch. But shout out to Cunningham, bro. That whole effort alone
His
was
effort alone kept them in the game.
that like don't get me wrong, Ben, he did his thing. I knew Ben was gonna hoop. But
Yeah.
Matt's stats, that stat line, bro,
That's a
without
great
that
stat
stat
line.
line, they do not win they do not
Nope.
win this game.
Now with them 4 steals and them 2 threes and them rebounds.
That's what I'm saying. You take away the threes, the rebounds, and the steals, bro. They do not
Yeah,
win
they
that.
don't
They
win
do
that
not
game.
win that game. But of course, it's just like, dude, when when is enough going to be enough with the arguing, the being upset about not getting calls and stuff? Because at the end of the day, bro, you got to play through that.
Yeah, Sean got to do better with that. I'm gonna call him, but that's my boy. But you got to do better.
And that's my dog too. And that's why it's like I didn't even want to say his name, but you are like Sean. No, I'm a real one. I'll pull you to the side and be like, bro, we gonna hear each other out on both sides because that tech you got, that was the worst time for
That
you to get
cost.
that.
That cost. That I think that cost.
That that
I
cost
think
y'all
that
a
cost them that
lot,
game.
in all honesty. And I
And
get
the,
it. In
and
in the heat of the moment, it's terrible, but you got to be disciplined. They don't have no discipline.
yeah,
Because when I'm hearing guys when I'm hearing guys on the court arguing amongst each other about the offensive sets or whatever you supposed, whatever your assignment is on offense or whatever your assignment is on defense, and everybody's all okay. You got it, bro. You got it, bro. Like I'm not gonna argue with you. Do what you do. That's not a team, bro. That's what I said earlier. It's a bunch of individuals, and they not on. And you know what I'm saying. And it sounds good. It look good, and layup lines y'all on the same page. But it's like y'all not really clicking like y'all could be.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if
And
you would have asked me,
Cortez like,
if
look,
you would have asked
Tez
me if
like
the
me,
Heat would have
bro.
been 3-8, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Oh, not at all, bro. They're definitely like that, and that's saying a lot about them because my thing is you done had a lot of talent on this Heat team the last couple seasons, and that I think it was that one season where they was a higher, I think it was like a fourth seed or something like that when they had that long run where they had like lost a couple games in the beginning and won every game after that type
Mm-hmm.
vibe, bro. Y'all don't have that talent no more. But y'all still got talented players. But if y'all play to y'all strengths and stop all of the immature arguing and fighting amongst each other and bashing heads against each other because you feeling some type of way about somebody taking a shot or looking you off or whatever, dude, you're gonna keep, like Cortez said, y'all gonna be leading teams, having teams beat at half, and when it come time for them goose eggs to hit on that shot clock or that scoreboard, or it's over with. Y'all gonna either lose 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. I don't really see too many people who coming in and just blowing them out because they fight too hard on defense. But it's like, dude, but y'all shoot yourselves in the foot because of your tempers.
All right, guys. Bulls Celtics. This was a very high scoring game, especially for a game where both teams were handicapped. They did not have Brian Kavos for the Celtics. They did not have Vashawn Sims, who's been here for the Celtics. I won't even count Jared Johnson. He showed up for one game so far. Expected to be here for the playoffs though. But this was this was a slugfest. The reason that Nick Crow did not play much of the game was because he got ejected early after receiving a second technical foul. And that does cost him to play in the first round of the playoffs against the Heat. So that was a very pivotal ejection in double tech for him because you get an automatic 1 game suspension. But
Wow.
the first half of this game, I believe it was knotted up, or the Bulls had the 1 point lead at the half, 42-41. But in the second half, the Celtics came alive, scoring 51 points to the Bulls, 47. We'll start with the Bulls. Benito Munoz had 25 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. Great game from him. 17 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists for Bobby Griffin. Keith Wright hit 2 threes of his own with 6 points. Miguel Munoz with 11 points. You had Seth Johnson with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. This was the game from Seth that was much needed. Nick
For
Crow
sure.
had 6 points. Yeah, 6 points. He had 4 early fouls. And he had 2 assists along with a rebound. If Nick could have stayed, it might have changed the outcome of the game. But shout out to the Celtics for stepping up. Antonio Phillips, who had the stat line of the night for me. with 11 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists with 2 steals and 1 block for the game. He was all over the place. Christian Straw only took 8 shots, but was 5 for 8 from 3, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Had 19 points, 2 rebounds. His shots were huge. Jay Kavai started the game off making majority of his threes, and he kept them in the game with the Bulls until Nick Crow was had got out, and they were able to just continue to run. He had 20 points himself. And then you had 27 points, 7 rebounds from Phil Andrade. Great game. And then very sneaky game from Zach Washington, who hadn't got a lot of minutes because most of the team was there, but he had 9 points and 9 rebounds with with an assist as well. So I think his impact on the rebound was great, especially with those bigger guys for the Bulls. The Celtics do out rebound the Bulls by 3, which is impressive. But yeah, I think this was just a grinded out game. It came down to who just if there was more time on the clock, I don't know who to won, you know? So
Right.
it was just one of those games where both teams were just making shots. Benny was just lighting it up from deep. He took 17 threes out of his 21 shots. He took 17 threes out of his 21 shots, which is huge. Yeah, I just this came down to the last few shots. Nick Crow being ejected definitely changed the outcome of this game, but either team could have won. That's really all I got to say. Great game to watch. I enjoyed it from beginning to end, especially being on PA. But Mr. Peoples, how you feel about the Bulls Celtics game?
Yeah, sure. It was definitely a great game to watch. But yes, the Bulls are a sleeper team. But until they find some type of defense, they will never be a championship team.
Uh,
Period. Until they find defense, they will never be a championship team. The only way for them to upset any team is if the other team doesn't play good defense. They have to outscore the other team.
that's how I feel about it.
I have not seen them ever from the 2 years I've been watching. I have not seen them ever lock in on defense. Never. So until I see that, they would never be a championship team. They are a sleeper. They can outscore someone, but if the other team doesn't play defense, that gives the Bulls the ultimate chance. If they do play defense, I'm taking the team that plays defense.
I agree. I agree. I think that the Bulls definitely probably have the most firepower offensively. Maybe the Warriors. Um, the Celtics also have a lot of firepower offensively too. So, um, yeah, those are like the top 3 teams like that score the most points in the league. So when the Bulls face teams like that, you know, it'd be really hard for them in general too, because those teams also play defense. But I just think the Bulls can beat anybody any given night. That's what I will say. If Seth Johnson can give you 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, again, I don't see anybody beating them if they have Nick Crow. I don't see if Seth can give you this stat line, it's the 5 assists. It's the fact that he can give you 24 points, he can get the rebounds, but he's passing the ball and moving around where it needs to be, and he has shooters all over the place. That is what's going to torture him because there's going to give them extra possessions, and he's going to remain a force down low. Like that's going to take them over the top. If they can get MVP Seth back from the first season I played, I see the Bulls going pretty far. But you know, that's if and here or there. You know, Seth has to play 2 games, and he has to play a game without Nick before they get to the second game. So I think that Nick ejection was huge. That was the biggest thing I got from the game. But we will go into the next one. We have the Lakers and the Warriors. This was a game of the week, game 66. Final score was 73-70. Lakers led by 3 in the first half, outscoring them 30-27. But both teams amped it up in the second half. But the Warriors beat them by 6, 46-40. Warriors win the second half. Final score was 73-70. 3 guys in double figures for The Lakers, 3 guys in double figures for the Warriors. You had Tone Brooks, Terrell Hendricks, and Andre Robertson Jr. Andre Robertson Jr. had a pretty good game, if you ask me. I'd say he had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block, being where he needs to be on the floor, being that facilitator, the pacemaker, taking shots when he needs to, and not forcing too much of anything. JJ Calvin, I lied, 4 guys. JJ Calvin had a big game, 15 points for him, 15 points, 5 rebounds, and had a steal himself. Terrell Hendricks struggled this game shooting the ball, but he shot 7 for 17 from the field, had 16 points, 2 assists, had 5 rebounds, had 3 steals and 2 blocks this game. Probably helping his case for possibly Defensive Player of the Year again for a back-to-back time. And then Tone Brooks had a solid game off the ball. Didn't shoot the ball as well as he wanted to, but he knocked the free throws down late in the stretch, hit some big shots down late, had 15 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds. But Antonio Marshall, the breakout game. No, can't call it a breakout game. I believe it's been his best game as a Warrior. 27 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. Very efficient game. 16 points, 13 rebounds for Latrell Tidwell, double-double for him. And then Tyree Mosley shot 8 for 21. That's my birthday. I always see it everywhere. 8 for 21 from the field, 22 points. Had 2 assists, 5 rebounds. He was really aggressive, especially defensively with the 4 steals. Tyree Mosley, very underrated as a defender in this game. Mr. Peoples, how did you like this one?
How much did Tone Marshall have?
You say what?
How much did Tone Marshall have?
He had 27.
27.
He was 5. He was 9 for 15 from the field, 5 for 11 from 3. All 4 free throws made.
Dang, what game was I watching? I feel like I ain't never seen.
Nah, he took his shots at very good times. They found him on the break, and especially in that right corner, knocked down a couple of those threes over there, and he was getting aggressive to the lane. He was playing a good game.
That's why my pick is the Warriors. Tyree still had 22 points.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have to be the lead scorer for them to win a quality game.
And Aaron Hall is really the game saver. He got the big shot. He got his own. He got two big stops and 4 big stops in a row. And the last one was a block shot at the end of the game to save him.
So I mean, that's just defense. He's a defender. I mean, he's been a defender ever since he was younger. At Lorenzo. So I mean, that's no shock that Aaron is defending the rim the way he does because he's always been a defender. And then you have Kwani, you got Tone, Marshall, Tyreek. Come on now, like Trail is also a defender. So that's why they're my pick to win the whole thing. Like, Lakers. I mean, of course, they had some really good moments, and then they had some really bad moments where taking advantage of an opportunity from like Terrell's standpoint. Like he didn't take advantage of a couple opportunities where he could have drove and scored, but he pulled up for a 3. Like, come on, dude. Like you like one of the best at attacking the basket. Attack the basket. You know, if you get fouled, you get L1. If you don't, but you still score. And then moments from Tone Brooks that he already alluded, like, you know, he had some critical turnovers at the end. But at the same time, it all comes down to who makes more mistakes. And the Lakers in that moment made more miscues, quote unquote, mistakes more than the Warriors did. And one thing the Lakers need is a closer. They don't have a closer to finish the game, like to lock the game. Warriors got 2 of them. Warriors got Tyree and they got
time out. You just said the Lakers don't have a closer?
Nah, I ain't seen it
So
yet.
Tone Brooks is not a closer for the Lakers?
Did he close Sunday?
I mean, it was.
No, did he not? Did he close Sunday?
I mean, no, but just every closers don't close every game. There's been plenty of closers, but they lose games too. I've seen closers lose games.
Not a closer.
I've seen closers lose games.
For every game I done seen this year, I have not seen a closer this year from the Lakers. Seen it from the Warriors.
Terrell closed out the Bucks last week. So what are we talking about?
No, he scored. I'm saying
he hit a three to close the game. Am I right or wrong? He hit a three. They were already up. And then in overtime, he hit a big three that separated them by so. It was a big three, and it closed the game. That was it after he hit the three. That's a closer.
So that's not my definition of a closer. But however, yeah, he had a big shot. But I'm saying within a game, not even going to overtime, within a game, who is that one scorer that's gonna get the ball and say, "Give me the ball, I'm gonna close the game"? I haven't seen that from anyone from the Lakers.
I've seen that from Terrell Hendricks, and I've seen it from Tom Brooks. I can't agree with that. I cannot agree with that.
I mean, that's okay. This is my take.
I know. I just can't agree with that.
This is my take. So at the same time, I haven't seen it, especially not in a bigger game as playing the number one seed. No one closed. So I don't care about what they did against the Bucks. I don't care what they did OKC. I'm talking about this game. No one closed this game.
Okay,
the biggest
you
game
can say that, but you said they don't have a
close.
That's a hot take. You can say no one closed this game. But they don't have a closer on the Lakers. That's a hot take.
Yeah,
that's a very hot take.
My take.
That's a very hot take.
It can be hot, warm, lukewarm, but at the same time, they're gonna take it how they're gonna take it, and I want them to take it.
Hey, look, wait till who the Lakers play the Bucks again.
I'll say this: I'm on the fence about it because the thing is, I've seen Stone close out games for the Lakers, but I haven't seen him in that mode this season. I don't know if
I saw it in this game. I you guys go back and watch this game.
Because I know it was a game that I was.
You talking about the game they just lost?
But I'm trying to tell you, it wasn't up. It wasn't all his fault. The Warriors, defensively, the Warriors closed the game. That was Aaron made the last. Aaron closed the game for them with defense. I watched it. He had the last 4 stops. Like it was Aaron. Aaron just went above and beyond defensively and made 4 great plays.
Well, it's okay, man. It's okay that they haven't had a closer this year yet. It's okay. Well, even that game. Let's do this game.
Oh man, okay.
No one closed.
I'm gonna say because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like in these close games that they've had against the better teams in the league, they've lost and they fumbled it, and it's like bad mistakes, like mistakes where it's like, dude, like we expecting greatness in these last couple minutes.
Did they beat the Nets?
We haven't really.
How much they lose to the Nets by?
I can't even remember, but at one point in time, you could see they was defeated.
Boston?
Because
how much they lose to Boston by?
That's what I'm saying, bro. And it's like, and that shows because it's like, I don't care about you beating the Spurs. I don't care about you beating the Magic. I don't care about you beating the Bulls. I don't care about you beating nobody else. If you not doing that to the top teams, having that a higher seed, that doesn't really matter to me.
Sure don't.
It's like you're not doing it when it counts. You're not doing it against the best competition, the best of the best.
Okay, I hear where y'all coming from.
That's facts.
In the clutch time moment. I ain't saying they ain't good players. I'm just saying I haven't seen
Terrell
struggled this. Terrell and Tone struggled to score the ball. They didn't score the ball. Score. JJ was doing. Yeah, they struggled. JJ was their best option. He was 7 for 10 from the field with 15 points. Terrell led scoring, but he took 7
and you're not gonna win when JJ is your leading scorer.
Yeah, that I understand. But I think this game, like I said, the Warriors did a really good job defensively, and then Antonio Marshall Otis did a good job.
For sure.
Antonio Marshall did a great job. He's a great closer. That I understand. He's a closer for this team for sure. Tyree could be a closer.
I already said Tone Marshall and
Right.
Tyree
We know
Moses
this. We know
are
this.
closing.
Yeah, right.
So
We know
And the
this.
thing, hey,
they
and
haven't
something that
lost
we
a
and
game
none,
since
they lost
the
the first
second
was it the first
game.
game, and they haven't lost
The
since.
second, yeah, the first game, and then they haven't lost since.
Yeah, they lost their first game, and that
Here,
was it. Yeah,
here,
they on
and now
10-game losing
and we
streak.
know it. And look, and we know what that came off of. That was just it was what a bad play at the end of the game that they got the other team free throws and ended up losing. But here's
Yeah, and
my thing
Octavius
that
got
we ain't really.
yeah. So
There's a lot of
This is the
hard.
thing we
Is
ain't really.
Octavius a closer for the Spurs?
I mean, for this
Because
particular
they beat
team,
the top teams, and he was their best player both games.
Hey,
well,
hey,
listen,
I'm
that
just
doesn't.
asking. I just want to know what your
If
definition is.
if if you win by 10, right, and if you win by 10 and you're the higher score, that doesn't mean you're the closer. A closer is someone, as I just said, gets the ball in the clutch time moment. If you beat a
yeah,
top team by 20 points, but you're the leading scorer, that don't mean you're a closer. If you beat a team by 10 and you leading the team in points, that don't mean you're a closer.
So
That just means you scored the most points that game. A
so
closer is someone
I,
that in clutch time moments get the ball and finish the game.
Octavius
Period.
Davis took a three, got fouled, hit all three of his free throws to beat the Warriors. Octavius Davis played against the Nets, was made the last, I believe, made 4 of the last 5 shots for that game for them to win. Like that's
Well, that's good.
that's a
I mean,
I just want to know.
that's that's
I,
a
I,
hey, that's a
I never answered your question. I just gave you my definition.
okay, so
Yeah,
Octavius
Octavius
Davis for the
has been
Spurs is their
definitely
closer.
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay,
I
that's
could
what I want to
close.
know. I just wanted to know if that's what. Okay, I see where
And
you.
it, and
I
it's
see where your head is.
and another thing that we ain't really speaking on. You let me look back at the stats again. Let me see here. You said Latrell had what
16
16
and
and
13.
13. That's
Yeah,
big.
that's
That's
huge.
big because here's the thing. It's been games that I've been there, and Terrell wasn't the leading rebounder. I mean, Latrell wasn't the leading rebounder. My fault.
Yeah,
When he leads that team in rebounds and he gets into the double digits in points, they are hard to beat. I'm sorry. They are
yeah.
hard to beat. And my thing is we not really talking about KB enough. Look, if he don't
I like
have the
one.
actual stat, if he don't have the actual, he doesn't like, if on paper he doesn't really have the stats to like put him in that conversation. But if you're there, and this is to anybody listening to this, if you're there at the games and you watch him play,
Yeah, it's different.
he's always guarding the best player.
Always.
He's always making the right defensive plays on the best players that's on the opposite side on the opposite side of that court. And it's like it's tough when you kind of get stuck on stats and you actually and then actually seeing it with your own 2 eyes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
gonna say
that's
this.
just me giving him showing him some love because he definitely I've seen him sit down on some of the best guys in this league.
I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
this now. They don't have money, they won't win.
yeah. Kawhi helped them win a lot
They
of
don't have
Yeah,
money,
because
they
He
won't
helped
he's
them win
getting
a lot of games for sure. I mean, I think that
and
Magic game where he
shout out to
guarded Billy.
Aaron.
I think that Magic game where he guarded Billy.
Dude,
I think
that
yeah,
was the eye opener for me when he sat on Billy and he
yeah,
can't,
that
bro.
was
His
like, oh
mind
yeah, this
when
is what he do.
he told Billy to I could be paraphrased, but he said, bro, this ain't that. I'm not one of them. You not finna come in and have your way while I'm on the court type energy is what he brought. And he proved it. And he proved it, bro.
Yeah, I think that
He
is a pro.
proved it.
The guy's in China right now. So,
That's what I'm saying. That's a pro.
that's a pro. So
And my
I
thing is
think
he
that's
made
I think
Billy.
that's a good sign.
He made Billy play, bro. He
Yeah,
made Billy
Billy play
play.
hard.
A lot
He play
we
real hard.
could call it what we want.
And all right, guys, that wraps it up for our recap for the final week, week 11. We will see you guys in the playoffs.